We have some friends that got a Newfoundland dog, and I've been meaning to make them a set of note cards and little cards. I'll show you one of the little ones that I've made there to go into a holder for them. So I bought the template for this from a company called Green Sneakers. It's from their Creator Box collection, and it's the portfolio, if you can read that. Anyway, so that's my plan, and I thought what I would do is walk you through that in one video, and then we'll make the pad, or the, yeah, in this one we'll make the portfolio, and then in the next one we will make what goes in it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to line your paper up with the bottom edge here, and then you're going to trace the lines. There are lines that mark all the places you need to cut, which makes it nice. It isn't hard to do. I don't know if you can hear that. There's an ambulance or something in the neighborhood, and I can hear it, but I hope you can't. So then I'm going to flip it over. You can see my lines on that side. And make sure my lines are all straight. Then you're going to want to make sure that you do the same thing on the top edge. You're just going to trace all of your lines. I'm sorry that I'm blocking it. And this is the part I'm gluing down, so it doesn't matter. This is not the color I'm using, so it doesn't really matter that, or the side that I'm not using this side, so it doesn't really matter that I'm going to have pen all over it, because you're not going to see it anyway. Okay, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get a stylus, and you're going to want to put this on a foam surface. And I do have foam things under this, but I found when I did this a little bit earlier that you need more foam than I have. Does that make sense? No. You need more cushion underneath it to make sure that you do this right. So I'm just going to add a bunch more papers, and I'm going to put it back, making sure it's lined up still. This is, there are slots, and what you're going to do is everywhere there's a slot, you're going to run your stylus and make sure that you've got a really good impression, because you want to make sure that you can fold on each one of these lines that you're rubbing. You're not going to try and cut the paper or rip it. You're just trying to make it so that your lines really work well when you need to fold them. And you have to make sure once you're done, I've already done this wrong once, you have to make sure that once you've done that, that you make sure that all of them have been creased, because if you miss any, which is what I did, you have a little bit of a problem trying to get them to fold. And unfortunately the one that I messed up was a really important one, so this time I'm not going to make that mistake twice. Now, let me hold it up and make sure I see in the light that all my lines, I think I have all my lines. Then all you have to do at this point is cut it out. What I did, I wrote the measurement for these spots about 1/4 of an inch shorter on the top and the sides, so that I would be able to layer paper on the inside of my project. This is the paper that is on the inside, as you already saw. On all those score lines, then we just need to fold in. And so I'm going to do that. And after you fold them all in, we're going to glue a lot of them down, and some of them I'm going to tear tape down. Sorry about that. That one didn't want to fold down. Just a couple more. This is a pretty easy project once you play with it. I wanted to make sure I made one for on camera, and then one real one. Well, they're both real, but one on camera so I could practice, and then one that we would do on camera so that I know what I was doing, because I don't like to do things where I'm not really sure how to do things on a project. I don't know what I'm saying. It's a little bit late, and Aggie's upset about, I don't know, the weather must be changing or something. She's our 14-year-old retriever, and when she gets anxious, she wants to be right beside me, and she pants like a lunatic until I pay attention to her. So I'm feeling really guilty that I'm not just stopping everything and hanging out with her, because, like I said, she's 14, and she's really my baby, as babies go. This is art glitter glue. A lot of people said that they really liked it, so I figured I would try it out. I am going to be doing a video on wet glues, and tell you which ones of the wet glues I really like and why I like them. And so I'm practicing with a bunch of different wet glues to see which ones are easier to get out to come out through the nozzle. That's the other thing I'm looking for, is the perfect fine tip applicator, to see if in fact I need a fine tip applicator. A lot of people said that they can't live without them, but those probably are people that don't have any problem with their hands or with doing things with their hands. So I wanted to make sure that if I did buy one, that I would want it to be one that I could definitely use. As you can imagine, it's not all that easy to find one that's I mean, I've bought two or three of them. I found one that worked really, really well. The problem with that one was, oops, I forgot to glue that little piece down. The problem with that one was that it didn't have a good seal on it, so the glue kept going dry in it, which, you can't. Oh, a little problem here. So, when you have something where the glue gets all yucky on you, I mean, that doesn't work for you. So I'm on a quest, is what I'm saying, for the perfect fine tip applicator. But again, we might not need one. Everybody that the people that I've talked to that have trouble with their hands talk about just putting a glob of glue down and using like a toothpick or some type of pointed object that they can get into those areas without any problem. And that made sense. I'm open to ideas, so if any of you have an idea of a fine tip applicator that you use and that you really like, let me know. I hope I'm not going too fast on this. Basically, we're just following the pattern, and I'll put all the information down below, as I always do, about where, well, you can buy that through Green Sneakers is the name of the company, and they have a website. But you can also, sometimes you can find them on eBay, which I think that's probably where I found mine, because I don't think I even knew that there was a Green Sneakers. I just was looking for this kind of an idea, and came across it on eBay and bought it. So, I put tear tape on these because I wanted to make sure you didn't have to wait while I was doing that. And the piece in the middle, you just have to make sure it's not on where the seams are. Then I have a little piece of tear tape on this edge. There's just one little. This is the trickiest part for me, anyway, was to get this little piece after you get the folds. Oh, it stuck to me. What else is new? After you get that first fold, then the second fold was kind of tricky. But the hardest part, and I hope that my arm is not making this a nightmare for you to see, but the hardest part for me was getting that little piece in there and then lining it up properly and gluing it down. That's the tricky part for this project. I put put another envelope on the outside of the first one I made to hold the little 3x3 cards. I don't know if I'm going to do that necessarily on this one. I didn't think it really added to the look of it, but I mean, it was cute. It was a good idea. It wasn't cute. It was a good idea, but I'll show it to you again so you can see how I modified mine. Okay. So that is all it takes to make one of these little folios. Oh, oh darn it. I was going to make it so I could, maybe I still can. Oh, I think I probably could. I was going to put some ribbon in there so I could tie it shut. Up this piece of paper, and hopefully I'll be able to just slide. I'm going to put my, where's my pokey tool? There it is. I think I'm just going to take my pokey tool and use that to slide it in there as far as I can get it, and hopefully it'll lay down flat, which that's kind of hard to believe, but it looks like it's doing that. Then I'm going to take some of this art glitter glue and go along this edge. Whoops. And hopefully do the same with this side. Take the pokey tool, jab it in there. Whoops. Well, you knew it wouldn't go that easy for both sides, right? Same thing. Art glitter glue. And again, too much at the top. I have a part there where it's kind of. So then, all we'll need to do then is just tie it shut. So that will be the first phase of our project. So that is making the portfolio that will hold our dog stationery, our dog project, and then our next video will be actually making the cards to go in it. So I hope you like this. I hope you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know if there's any videos you'd like me to do for you. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.